Yep, go get him.
Pukwudgie's here to learn, tracking, hunting, and wildlife. I'm learning new things every day and doing it right. It's Pukwudgie, yeah, it's Pukwudgie.
So here we're following a whole bunch of animal tracks. Got some bear, these big ones right here. Got some deer, these right here. Got some little rabbit tracks. All using the same path. Those are some bigger deer tracks. You can tell when there's only a couple tracks that they're using this as a turnoff and not as a well-beaten regular trail. You want to be really careful in this kind of terrain in the winter. This is a swamp. It's mostly frozen over, but you can see there's one small stream here that's still flowing through. You see a lot of tracks on the ground the animals like to come, but there's some parts that look like grass, but really it's fairly deep water. One of the most dangerous things in the winter is to get wet. You gotta be really careful that you don't get your feet wet in this kind of thing, but these type of areas are really great for seeing animals. See, there's all kinds of tracks going through here. So this is a great example of a deer run, and you can see some deer tracks here. I'll try to find a good example. This is a day or two old, but you can see right here, that's deer droppings from an adult deer. And if you're ever unsure what you're following, that's a good way to confirm it. So if you can find a good example of a deer print in this. There's some more droppings there. They came down back there to get some water. And actually, if you see here, that's a pretty good example of some deer tracks. But you see how there's some ice in the bottom and the edges are rounded, not very sharp? That's how you can tell that it's been a couple days. The sun's had some time to melt the edges, and the wind's had some time to blow some extra snow in there. So don't let anyone tell you that animals aren't smart. And they're just like us in a lot of ways. They make roads just like we do. We're following a deer road right through the woods now. You can see that one has marked its territory for the others. They don't have to worry about potty time. The whole world's their potty. So right here we have a good example of this is where deer sleep. So if you're coming through the woods and you see kind of a patch like this, it has a lot of prints around it, and the snow is kind of moved around, and you can see there's stuff all around the bed which protects them from wind and bad weather and the cold in general, so they can sleep by themselves or sometimes in a group. A lot of times in the winter they'll sleep in a group, and they'll be nice and warm. So you got to be really careful when you're walking in the woods and it's snowy. If you see patches like this, you don't stand on it, because you could get a very bad boo-boo falling into it. You could get wet, or you could get stuck, and in the wintertime getting wet is very bad.
So be careful.
Pukwudgie's here to learn, tracking, hunting, and wildlife. I'm learning new things every day and doing it right. It's Pukwudgie, yeah,
going. Follow the tracks.